Okay. All right, so it is 11 a.m., so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're doing our very first lesson in Learn Zillion today. You guys will just need a notebook or a binder with paper and a pen or a pencil out to take notes today when prompted. So you are not going to have to write down every single slide. The slides that I want you to take notes on will be labeled, and I'll make sure that I say, hey, you need to write this down. Because some of this stuff we're just talking about, and then, obviously some of it you need to write down. So you do not have to write down every single thing. The slides, like I said, the slides that are notes will be labeled at the top. At the top of your paper, you want to write this title down. So you want to write down 8.1.1, Moving in the Plane, January 6th, because that's the day that we're starting. Okay, so this right here, 8.1.1, Moving in the Plane, January 6th, that is the title of these notes. We're going to be doing these notes today and tomorrow, and then on Friday we're going to start a new section, so we'll label those ones differently. Okay, so make sure you have a notebook or some paper. Make sure you're labeling it with this right here, this 8.1.1. Also, today I will be asking you guys to answer questions in the chat. You have to answer the questions for credit today. So I'm recording the chat, which means that it'll send me a report at the end of the period, and it's going to tell me what everybody said and who was answering in the chat. So if you are not on my list of people that answered in the chat, you will not get credit for lecture today. Okay, so you have to make sure when I ask you a question, you answer it in the chat. Even if you're not sure if your answer is right, it's okay. You still need to do your best to answer in the chat. All right, so before we get started, I'm going to just take a real quick attendance while you guys get your notebooks ready. Okay, let me copy and paste this in the chat. There we go. All right, looks good. Okay, and let me move this out of the way. All right, so I think we are ready to go. Okay, so ready with your notebook? Here we go. All right, so today we're going to be focusing on describing ways figures can move in the plane, right? So let's say you have a triangle and you're going to move it around, just an area, just in general. We have special ways of describing movement in the plane. So that's what we're doing today. So here's going to be our first warm-up. Okay, so which one does not belong? So you're going to type it in the chat, but you're not going to hit send until I tell you to. So you're going to choose which one doesn't belong. And you don't have to, actually, let's have you explain why you pick your answer. So you're going to pick A, B, C, or D, and then tell me why, but don't hit send until I tell you to. Okay, so I'm going to wait about 1 minute to give you guys a chance to type in the chat and wait to send your answer. Make sure you explain why you picked the one you pick as well. "45 seconds left. "30 seconds left. Wait, don't hit send yet. "20 seconds left. "10 seconds. Three, two, one. All right, hit send. Okay, let me go through and see what everybody is saying. Lots of A's. A. Wow, lots of people picked A. Okay. All right, so it seems like we all agree that A is probably the different one because it's the only one that doesn't bend. Let's see, if you wanted to pick something different, let's see, B, C, or D. Let's see here. If you wanted to pick maybe B, you could say it's bent at a 90-degree angle. The other three are not bent at a 90-degree angle, right? You could say that if you picked B. If you picked C, you could say that one's the only one that's less than a 90-degree angle. And then if you pick D, you could say that one is, that one would actually be tough because A is also greater than 90 degrees. So I can't think of a reason for D, but I thought I could think of A, B, and C. But good job, guys. Thank you. All right, so again, we already shared our reasons. So we picked A, B, or C, so that's good, or D. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at a triangle square dance. So there's gonna be a picture of some triangles and some squares, and we wanna think about what type of movement is going on in these pictures, okay? So here's how it's gonna work. You're gonna be shown 3 pictures. Each shows a different set of dance moves. We're gonna describe the dance moves for the first card as a class. For the second card, you guys will type in the chat to describe the dance moves, and then we'll do the same thing for the last card. So the first one we're doing together, and then the last 2 you guys will kind of do on your own. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes to think first, and then we're gonna start sharing ideas in the chat, okay? So here's dance A. So pay really close attention to what happens to these triangles and these squares. Okay, and if you want to actually write some stuff down, you can, but this is not notes. This is just so that you might be able to describe it. So here we go. Watch the dance. Okay, so there's 6 steps in our dance. I'm going to rewind it, show it to you again. Ready? Step 2, actually, so step 1 is over here. Here's step 2. Start thinking about how you're going to describe these moves. Step 3. Step 4. Step 5. Step 6. So again, just start thinking about this and do it again. Here's step 1. Here's step 2. Here's step 3. Step 4. 5. And 6. Okay, so we're going to go through this one step by step. All right, so step 1, obviously, it's just in its starting position. Now, when I move to step 2, in the chat, can you tell me what happened from step 1 to step 2? Best way you can think of to describe it.
Miss Steven, I didn't get the first slides with the 3 questions.
Okay. The first, what do you mean?
I didn't get that first slide with the 3 questions.
Well, we're just looking at the moves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that right now.
I thought it had showed that I wasn't marked here.
Oh, okay. You'll be fine, because I have my attendance app running, so you'll be good.
Okay,
yeah,
you.
You're welcome. So from step 1 to step 2, Everybody is saying it moves once to the right or moves to the right. That's perfect. That's a really good way of describing that. So from step 1 to step 2, it's moving right. Now, from step 2 to step 3, here we go. What happened? So here's step 2. Here's step 3. What happened on step 3? In the chat, let me know. Okay, good. Ooh, somebody's using degrees. Thank you. Ooh, somebody's using the word clockwise. Good. Good, you guys' vocabulary is really good. So it definitely rotated. It rotated. So rotated, I had somebody say it rotated 90 degrees clockwise, which I think is a really good way to describe that. So yeah, definitely from 2 to 3, it rotated. Now let's go from 3 to 4. Here we go. 3 to 4, what happened? From 3 to 4. Good. You guys are answering so fast, my chat can't keep up. That's pretty funny. Yeah. So from 3 to 4, it moved up. Definitely moved up. Okay, here we go. Step 4 to 5. We got 2 steps left. Here we go. So hold on. Let me go back to 4. So here's step 4. Going to step 5. What happened from step 4 to 5? Good. So it moved left. That's exactly what happened. So step 4, it was on the right side, and it moved to the left side. Last step here. Here we go. So from 5 to 6, what happens? So here's 5, here's 6. What happens from 5 to 6? Good. I'm going to go back again. So here's 5. And then here is 6. 5 is here. 6 is here. Yep, so it definitely rotated again. It looks like it rotated 90 degrees as well, and that's counterclockwise because it's going this way. So it looks like it did rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise, which I did see somebody wrote that. So good, but the gist is it rotated, right? Good job. All right, so that's dance A. Now for dance B, what you guys are gonna do is you're gonna write for step 1 to 2, you're gonna write what happened. Step 2 to 3, what happened. So same idea. Okay, we're gonna go through this again. In fact, I was gonna have you do it on your own, but I think we'll just do the same thing again because it worked out really well. So let me go to the next one. Here's dance B. All right, ready? We're gonna watch it through a few times and then we'll go through it step by step. So here we go. Okay, so it's a little bit different than the other one. Let me go through it a couple more times real quick. So here's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. Okay, ready? So here we go in the chat. All right, to go from step 1 to step 2, what happened? Good job. Yeah, it moved to the right. Excellent job. So from 1 to 2, it moved to the right. Here we go. We're going to go 2 to 3 now. So here's 2. Here's 3. So again, here's 2 and 3. What happened from 2 to 3 in the chat? Good. Yep. You guys are getting it right. Good job. It rotated. Definitely rotated. We got someone saying 90 degrees to the left. That's good. So yes, it did rotate. Definitely 90 degrees it's rotated. So let's go from 3 to 4. Here we go. 3 to 4. What happened? So again, here's 3. Here's 4. What happened? Good. Yep, it moved to the left. Exactly right, guys. Good, good, good. All right. From 4 to 5. Here we go. So here's 4. And then here's 5. What happened? So again, 4, 5. What happened? Good. Yep, moved up. Pretty simple. And then we have 1 step left. So here we go. So from 5 to 6. There it is. So here's 5, here's 6. What happens? Yep, you got it. Yep, it rotated. And I think Adrian said it rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. So that's very precise way of saying that. So good. Yep, and it's definitely 90 degrees, right? Because it did like a quarter turn. It hasn't flipped all the way around. It just did like a quarter turn. All right, so we got one more to do. This time we'll just go through it. We'll watch it once and then go through it step by step because you guys get the idea. So here's the last one. Here we go. Okay. All right, so let me start back at the beginning here. All right, from 1 to 2, here we go. 1 to 2, what happened? Yep, it moved right. Slides to the right, that's a good way of saying it too, but it moved right. Good job. Okay, here we go. From 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Here it is. Here it is. So here's 2, here's 3. What happened from 2 to 3? Good job. So it definitely did that 90 degree half, like quarter turn there. So it's definitely 90 degrees. And I saw somebody say counterclockwise, which that it is counterclockwise because we flipped it the way, like the opposite way that the clock goes. All right, from 3 to 4, here we go. 3 to 4, 3 to 4. Here's 4. So what happened from 3 to 4? So again, here's 3, here's 4. Good. Moved left. Good job. All right, 4 to 5. So here's 4. Here's 5. There you go. So again, here's 4. Here's 5. What happens? Good job. Moved up. Definitely moved up. And then there's that last one. I bet you can guess what it is. All right, so here's the last one. 5 to 6. Yep. Seems to be the finishing move on all 3 of them, right? And this time it went this way. So since it's going in the same direction as the clock, we could say that that's clockwise, and it did that little quarter turn, so it looks like it's a 90 degrees clockwise. Good job, guys. All right, so we're gonna move on here. So quick question. What was the most challenging about describing the dances? So we had a lot of different moves. Which one was the hardest one to describe? Let me know in the chat. Mm-hmm. Yes, guys, I completely agree with you. Yeah, definitely the rotation seemed to trip us up a little bit because we know that it's rotating, but then like how do we describe the rotation itself, right? So that would definitely be a good one for describing, like a challenging one that we're describing. Okay, good job. All right, so let's put this all together. We had 6 steps in each dance, and of the steps, if we could arrange the descriptions of each dance into 2 groups, what would the name of each group be, right? So there's kind of like 2 different things going on, and even though we're going like left, right, up, down, you know, whatever, how would you put, like what 2 groups would you categorize for all of the moves in the dances? So I just want to see what you come up with first. Think of 2 names for the groups of all of the steps that we saw. Just throw something out if you're not a whole 100% sure. Two names for 2 groups of the steps. Good job, guys. These are really good names. I would agree with all of them. So we have like slides and turns. We have translations and rotations. Those are good. Or rotations and slides, slides and pivots. Oh, I see some really good stuff here. These are excellent ways of naming your groups because that's all we did was we either slid around or we rotated. So we have 2 movements that we've done so far. Okay, excellent job. All right, so moving right along. So here are your notes. You want to write this down in your notebook. So we have translation, rotation, and something called reflection, which we'll get a little more into probably, maybe a little bit today, maybe a little bit tomorrow. So I want you to write these 3 words down, and I want you to draw these 3 pictures with it in your notes, okay? So I'm gonna give you like 3 minutes to do that. In fact, I'll time myself so I don't forget. So again, you're writing this down in your notebook, drawing the pictures. You got about 2 minutes left to get this written down, and then we're gonna move on. We got about 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Okie dokie. All right, so hopefully you have these 3 written and drawn. Okay, let me actually come out of full screen really quick and reload this because I added a slide just now because I realized that the definitions weren't there. It was just the pictures. There we go. Okay, so let me go back to the screen. All right, so now that we're gonna finish here as soon as my screen lets me move ahead. Oops, not that part. Here we go. All right, so here's the actual definitions that go with these. So please write these down as well in your notes. So translation moves the object up, down, left, right in the plane. Rotation moves the object about a point in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction. And then a reflection, which we're going to talk about tomorrow more, is a mirror image over a line of reflection. And we try to avoid the word flip as vocabulary in math. I use it every once in a while just to kind of, emphasize what I'm talking about. But usually we want to say the word reflection. Okay, so write these down. I'll start a timer for that. There we go. We got 1 minute and 30 seconds left on writing this down. All right, so 30 seconds left to get this written down. We're pretty much just gonna call it when the class is over. So again, today you just want to make sure you understand that translation is up, down, left, right, and rotation is obviously when we rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. Like I said, reflection we'll go over a little bit more in our other lessons, but you should understand reflection is like when I said they just say don't use the word flip, but when you flip it. All right, so that is it for today, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Excellent job today. Bye.